Good morning, everyone. This is Nikachu, Merfolk Master. We are here with day 72 of Coffee and MTG, the morning talk show, where we have great conversations about Magic the Gathering every single day. Be part of the conversation and brew up your cup of magic wherever you are in this world. If it's the morning, afternoon, or evening, you are ready for the discussion. I know I'm ready. I got my coffee. I probably could have used a second cup, but I can still finish off the one I have over here. So, brew up your cup of magic and be part of the discussion. First 30 minutes, we do Q&A and just regular magic discussion with the next 30 minutes. Deck list review. If you need some clarity, if you need help with your archetype, your brew, bring it over here. We have a great community, and we can offer very useful, powerful feedback to help take your game to another level. And don't forget, if you want to be part of the action, hey, where's my logo? We got the logo back. We got everything. This is Coffee and MTG up here. If you want to be part of the action, don't forget you can watch us at twitch.tv/Nikachu MTG. We do this Mondays to Fridays, 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time for the rest of August. Time is going to change in September because I'm going to have a different school schedule going into the fall, but this is what it's going to be for the rest of August. So become part of the show. Be part of the action. Just like Gibby 420 loves 420, loves Coffee and MTG as well. Good morning, Gibby 420. So we might have some new stuff. So this is sweet. I better put this here in a banner for deck list review. You could at any time submit it with ! Decklist, and 101 Nick created a fantastic Decklist bot. You can submit a URL to your Decklist by using this. There's a new thing here we're doing right now. Whereas does the Decklist bot does show up. Submit a URL to your Decklist by using the ! Decklist, whatever. Then I guess you put the URL command, and your deck list will be entered to be randomly picked for review. So we're refining things up. We're gonna thank very much to 101 Nick who created this bot for us. So hopefully this is gonna be great. The show just keeps improving. It gets better and better. So I don't have to do this bullshit random.org garbage. Good morning, Sirius D16. So I should put a. Hold on, I should have like a brand. I should have some banner. Great banner. Discussion deck list. Use command. Excellent. So we use the ! Decklist command in order to submit your deck lists. And I guess it could be submitted at any time. But then, okay, how do I see the deck lists? 101 Nick. How do I see the deck list? Where does that come in? Or do I see that on the back end somewhere? So while I get some feedback from 101 Nick, we're gonna say good morning to everybody. So where are we here? Morning, Fish Fam, Sirius D. Good morning, El Rodeo-san. Looks like it's working. People are submitting things. Try doing a deck list pick. Am I the only person? Sorry, it might need some work still. So hold on, is El Rodeo-san... Well, okay, it says El Rodeo-san's deck list has been chosen. But where's the deck list? I don't see one. It needs mods. Okay, I'll let you fiddle around with this for a little while. And then we will look into it when we get into deck list review. So good morning, Mandy Shines, Coffee and Meatballs with MTG. Yes, if you love your meatballs, everyone has their own chubby meatball out there. Wait, that's not right. Anyway, good morning anyway. Good morning, Kyle Nano. Good morning, Kyoka620. Good morning, Nux27. Long time no see. Good morning, Tempo Mage. Good morning, Mr. Blue. Good morning, Tempo Mage again. Oh, hello to Mandy. Mandy Shines. The cute Pikachu emotes. Like, it needs mod privileges. It needs a different command. Or is it because like the exclamation point Decklist is also colliding with Cardboard Live? Because what if I go exclamation point Decklist? Yeah, you need to change the command because it's the same command as Cardboard Live. It needs to be something else. It needs to be something else because like two things are popping up at the same time. So it needs to be like exclamation point deck review. There's no way that Cardboard Live is using that. Yeah, no one's using that. That would be a way better. Yeah, deck review is good. So switch it up. We'll figure it out, and then I have to see what this looks like on my end. Whatever, we're figuring it out. It's okay. If anyone remembers what Coffee and MTG looked like in the beginning, do you remember when I was like, man, my phone was like being held on by this, and I put it on top of like a coffee container for height, and it was like in my kitchen with very poor lighting, and now look where we are. We're moving up just slowly, one thing at a time. It's all rough in the beginning, but it gets better over time. Like anything sucks in the beginning. You suck at everything, and then it's in the end it's going to be amazing. So even though we have this exciting new what's it called, bot that's going to be part of the channel. What's up with Magic? Interesting. So I'm now diving back into Legacy. Legacy is a very interesting format, I guess. And you know what? I actually really enjoy, like, if anyone's seen my video or saw the last stream, I'm playing Merfolk and Legacy, but I'm scrapping Chalice of the Void. I'm scrapping True Name Nemesis. And honestly, I just really like this build a lot more. One thing I really didn't like about the traditional Merfolk and Legacy list is I thought it leaned too hard on Chalice of the Void and cards like True Name Nemesis. True Name Nemesis, I guess, is fine. But if they didn't work, then you were really screwed. And then over time, they just weren't really working, period. In my opinion, that's why I got rid of them. Play True Name Nemesis. First off, okay, let's start with Chalice of the Void. There's like very few 1-mana spells. Certainly there are Delver decks, but between Daze and Force of Will, Chalice of the Void is actually not likely to resolve. Very poor. And then even if you like Chalice, then force their Daze, you're down a lot of resources, and they can just kill you with a Delver and a Tarmogoyf on the battlefield. I've been raced in these situations many times. So the deal is Chalice now just doesn't interact with anything in the format, or very poorly. You could say, I can bring it in against lands or Reanimator, but it's slow. You're really close to dead. They go turn 1 Entomb, you go turn 2 Chalice, they play turn 2 Exhume. That's it, you're dead. It's over. So, but now I really, the fact that I've taken these two cards out, and so True Name Nemesis dies to Plague Engineer, dies to, what's it called? Occasionally can still be countered. A lot of Force of Wills in the format. Can be dealt with by Council's Judgment. So we got can be edicted away. So it's not like True Name Nemesis is actually invincible. There are quite a few answers to True Name in the format. And my biggest problem with True Name is it is very slow. It is very slow. What I really like about a random lord like Mare Reejery, which I put in the place, is that Reejery can at least buff up all the random garbage still on the battlefield, like your Silvergill Adepts, your 1-drops, pump up another lord. So anyway, that's why I've removed them, and I like the deck more. I enjoy playing this deck more like this. It's like, it feels a lot more like classic Merfolk. I mean, Chalice of the Void can still be classic. I don't mind Chalice of the Void if it works, but it doesn't work, like, period. At least right now. So anyway, I think there's a lot of room, and I don't even think I have the best 75, to be honest. I don't think so. I think there's a lot of room to improve the list. I just wanted to gut the 2 cards. Like, in my opinion, there's a lot of games you need to race. You literally need to race. True Name Nemesis does not help you with racing. Just does not. But Lords do. So anyway, I'm pretty happy to throw myself back into Legacy. Turns out it didn't change all that much. I don't know, I'm still seeing a lot of the same decks. They got like a little interesting, different twist on their archetypes. Like, but you know, I still saw Reanimator, still saw Eldrazi, still saw Miracles, and some whatever blue control deck. You know, what else did we also see? I did not see lands, although I know it's out there, so I'm happy about that. Oh, Basic Land Shark raiding with a party of 40. Oh, Basic Land Shark, thank you very much for your raid, bringing all the people here. Let's have some great discussion. You're here on Coffee and MTG, the morning talk show. First 30 minutes, we have Q&A and great Magic discussion. And then in the next 30 minutes, we do deck list review. So if you have any deck list that you can submit by a link, you'll be eligible to get some review, get some feedback on your deck list. So welcome, everybody, to Coffee and MTG. All right, so I have not kept up with the comment section here. Okay, so you needs a different command, or Tuxdev, you're in charge of this. You're a great mod. You're actually a master mod, the mod master. If you know how to fix this, anybody, no one knows it. If there's anyone who knows how to fix this, it's you. Aren't you a programmer or something? I think you're a programmer. So Tuxdev says, when I played No Chalice, I just died horribly in 2019. Well, I don't know what was going on in 2019. I basically like quit Legacy in 2019. But we're here in 2020. So our deck is just bad cards. Come on, you have to have more faith in Merfolk than that. My God. If I knew Tuxdev was going to say such a statement like that 4 years ago, no one would have predicted it. So there's also going to be a Nerd Rage Gaming Legacy event this weekend with a $1,500 prize pool. So I guess there's quite a few reasons to play Legacy right now. Nerd Rage Gaming is going to have a Legacy event happening this weekend for a $1,500 prize pool. And also don't forget that Mana Traders, one of the main reasons I'm playing Legacy right now is Mana Traders has their Mana Trader series. It's a free roll. You get to play in the event for free. And if you're a Mana Traders member, you get 10 times the prizes, and that then makes you eligible for the $1,500 prize pool. But aside from that, you don't need to subscribe to Mana Traders. It's a complete free roll. And with that, let's thank our sponsors, Mana Traders, the premier place to rent Magic cards online. You can support the channel by using my link my Mana Traders link in the description below, or you can sign up to them with my coupon code Nikachu, so you get 20% off your first 3 months. And I'm also going to thank my sponsor, themanabase.com, your home base for everything Magic the Gathering. Articles on and podcasts on Commander, Modern, Standard, and more. The Manabase is your home base. Go check them out at themanabase.com. So a lot of Legacy stuff happened right now. Right now is a good time to be playing Legacy. You'll lose horribly in 2019 with Chalice. That could have been true as well. Well, hold on. So 2019, was there anything that they printed that needed to be like? Was there any big changes that got banned? What happened in 2019? I think there were some big bannings. Like, what did they ban? What did they ban in 2019 in Legacy? I can't remember if there was any bit. No, Hogak is still legal in Legacy. So we got this working now. Your deck list has been submitted for deck review. Looks good. Clever Boy says, is there a reason why Burn is overrepresented in the meta again? Are you talking about Modern or Legacy? It's a good question. First off, Burn is always around in Modern. Like, it's never gone. It is always like a default deck people will grab if the format has just been shaken up, if it's new, if there's been a banning, an unbanning, a new set comes out. It's relatively cheap. It's not the cheapest. It could be cheaper. The Horizon lands push up the price of the deck. But if you don't want to play with expensive fetch lands, if you can push aside Scalding Tarn, play Bloodstain Mire. You can make it a cheaper deck, but Burn is always around. But if you're talking about, I don't know if it's overrepresented in Legacy, if that's what you're asking. If it's overrepresented in Legacy, it's because it's like one of the most budget of all budget decks. It requires no reserveless cards. But I think it's always around in Modern. It's just the thing. Oh, change from talk show? Oops, sorry about that. Oh yes, you're talking about yeah. Let's move to the Magic portion. We are a Magic podcast. What's funny is that for almost my entire content creation career, people are calling me a streamer when I was not a streamer. I was a YouTuber. Now I'm a streamer. Now it makes sense. But people now say, can you make your podcast available on like Spotify and all these other things? I'm like, this is not a podcast. I don't put it's not on any of the podcast services. I just throw it on YouTube and you can watch it live on Twitch. Yeah, hello YouTube. We're podcasters now. Exactly. Except we're not actually podcasters. I know people can use it like a podcast. People can use so they banned Ren and 6. So like if Delver was that popular, and I already believe that Delver was already a big problem for Merfolk and Legacy. It looks like it should be a good matchup. It looks on paper like it should be a good matchup. You can't even do better than 50%. That is bad. In my opinion, that's awful. Like if your deck can't do better than 50% against Delver, if your Merfolk deck can't do better than 50% with Chalice of the Void and Island Walk against an island deck, that's not good news. That something is wrong there. So the fact that Ren and 6 pushed that deck over the top actually probably says a lot about what made Merfolk like very poorly positioned in 2019. 2019 is the deck that plays Teferi, Oko, and Uro. Yes. It is just the power crip. Ikoria dropping made adaptation just impossible. Really? So what was that had something to do with the companions? Before the companion role? Price to performance ratio is pretty good for the burn decks usually. That is also true. That has actually been true even when burn was a pony deck. Like it was a pretty good deck at grinding ticks, even though it'd be for like very small amounts of money. And this was like way back in the day when it was like a blue-black deck before there was Eidolon of the Great Revel and Monastery Swiftspear. Oh my god. You would laugh at what burn had to use a long time ago. They did have Goblin Guide, but they had to play with like Bump in the Night and a bunch of really bad burn cards. But it was good enough. It was still good enough to grind out a I don't want to say a 3-2 because there were no leagues at the time. It was dailies. Or you just play in queues, but it was good enough to grind and get your money's worth. So, yeah, it was it wasn't the best deck, not by any means, but it was good enough, and that's what matters. Ren and 6 wasn't as troublesome. Well, I'm sure it promote Ren and 6 itself against Merfolk, probably not that big of a deal, but Ren and 6 promoting Delver, which I do think is a big deal against Merfolk, is a problem. Does Burn have a lot of turn 3 kills? Maybe against a Death Shadow deck. Yeah, Burn is a good deck to grind ticks. And it's fast. Like, it's relatively fast. You just want to get those games going. And that's why, like, I don't know if everyone saw the Reanimator game that we had in Legacy. Our opponent, like, scooped at a moment of trouble. Because if they can just get through these matches, they make more ticks that way. Why wait? Why spend 10 to 15 minutes to play the game out when you can probably play a whole new league in 15 minutes, Hello, YouTuber podcasters now. Ren and 6 wasn't banned in Legacy, right? No, it was banned. Ren and 6 was banned because it was abusing Wasteland in a big way. I mean, like you could get Wasteland locked out of that because of this. It's almost acting like a Crucible of Worlds, and like it's like a tick up ability too, right? So here's Ren in 6. Yeah, +1. Return up to 1 target land card from your graveyard to your hand. Oh, you played another non-basic land, Wasteland. Oh, you played another non-basic land, Wasteland. So Ren in 6 ended up being just really stupid good in the format, and it's gone now. Can I make this larger? I want to make the Ren in 6 just a little bit larger. There we go. I love it. Or maybe, yeah, that's good enough. Excellent. Or maybe it's not good enough. Whatever. Back to this. So yeah, Ren in 6 did get banned from Legacy, hilariously enough. If only they had Wasteland in Modern, it would probably also get banned. I would listen to these at work if it was on Spotify. You know what? I know a lot of people would do that, but I don't want to put the time into it. I put a lot of time into this channel, and to now throw my stuff on all the turn it into a podcast and export the audio and throw it up all in there, I don't really want to do that. So whatever I have, just play it on YouTube. Just turn the phone upside down. Just don't look at it. Just listen. I do that a lot on YouTube anyway. Nikachu, will you ever do Poor Folk again? I'm trying to do budget folk in a meta filled with Amulet Titans. Yes, I will. I will go back to Poor Folk. I realized when someone asked in my private Discord about a budget Merfolk deck that, oh, I haven't really made a budget league in quite a while, but I might not. I might make the list within a week or so, but I may not have the gameplay for a few weeks from now. But of course, I will always have some budget Merfolk to show. And I think I will also like do my best to because I'm now sponsored by Mana Traders. I will do my best to create the lists that so that you can, for example, let's go to Mana Traders for a second. I will. Whoops, wrong place. I can do my best to make sure that it's within the tiers that they have. So like here you can have 100 ticks capacity. I'll make sure that, and isn't, you know, and the ticks on, as far as I'm concerned, the ticks on Mana Traders is actually worth less than the normal retail value of the card. So you can actually get slightly more value out of these decks on Mana Traders because their valuation is different from the market value of the digital cards. But I'll make sure that the decks can be within, you know, like, for example, budget would be the base thing of like $10 a month. You get 100 ticks worth of cards. So I'd make sure that all the decks are sort of within that range. Delver is extremely efficient. Snow is extreme individual card quality. And Cheese is extreme variance. Don't know what the Cheese is. But Delver is very efficient. It's just too efficient. It's just too efficient. I can't get... Merfolk is not efficient enough to compete with Delver. At least the old version. Like, I would play True Name and they'd just laugh. Okay, attack in the air again, attack in the air again. Okay, I lose. I can't race those stupid Delvers. Or they play Tarmogoyf and I'm like, ha ha ha, I got a True Name Nemesis. What are you going to do about that? And then they're like, oh, I have another Tarmogoyf. And I'm like, shit, I can't block 2 of them. And they can dig for, you know, another Tarmogoyf, another Delver with Ponders and Brainstorm. So not too hard, not too hard. What deck boxes and sleeves do you use? Can you show us your bling? I can show you a little bit of stuff, sure. Okay, so here's one deck box I use. It's called, I don't know, it's from Ultimate Guard. Can I get it in the light? There we go. So Ultimate Guard. I think this is called the Flippin' Tray, and I think it's the bulky one. And it's not the bulky one. Whatever. It holds more cards. And what it's good, it just fits. It just fits. It can fit my commander deck in here. So double sleeved people. I can fit 100 cards in one of these trays if you get the big one. I can't remember which one's the big one, which one's the small one, but if you check it out, anyway, it can comfortably fit, of course, a foil double-sleeved deck. But I was impressed. If I got the smaller one, I would not be able to fit this 100-card deck in here. Impossible. And I like this about what I like about the big one is it it fits my dice, and this was very important because I have very chunky dice, very large dice. These are precision, like casino cut dice. I've got like an Amazon store in the description below. On YouTube, you could probably, if you're watching live on Twitch, you just click on any video and find it, and you can find these dice there. Or you could just look it up. But anyway, I love the color of these things, and they're pretty big and blocky. So anyway, that was the purpose. They're like twice the size of like normal dice, in my opinion. So anyway, the tray fits it perfectly. And then of course it has the second compartment for like tokens and stuff like that, and sideboard guide. There, look, we have like sideboard guide here and plenty of space for tokens. So yeah, plenty of space for all sorts of tokens. Elemental tokens, germ tokens, whatever you want. So this is one deck list. Oh, sorry, this is one deck box. Now I got this other one. I don't know. This is like a... Is this also a flip-in tray from Ultimate Guard? I actually like their deck boxes. They have good deck boxes. Oh, it says here. Flip-in tray. 100 plus. So, nice design. Same thing. And it's good for decks that don't use tokens, basically. So if you aren't using tokens, it's very nice. What do I have in here? I just have random sleeves. I think I just have a bunch of extra sleeves. Very convenient. Also fits my big chunky dice up here. But I like the smaller form factor. The other one's really, it's good. It's functional, but it's bulky as hell. No, I'm not super thrilled with that. Okay, sleeves. I use Dragon Shield night glues. I also use Dragon Shield umbers. I will just say that they shuffle really well. They don't have the backs don't get dirt on them. That's what makes them good. And yeah, I like the shade of blue on this. It doesn't take away from it. Like I feel like it still emphasizes the card. Some sleeves, like if it's a really light blue, I feel like I'm just staring at the sleeve and not the picture. This doesn't like distract me from the actual thing. But anyway, Dragon Shell I think is high quality. I actually, you know what? Like I really like the KMC sleeves, but they would split once every so often. These Dragon Shield sleeves almost never split on me. Almost never. They're actually pretty damn very durable. They're actually incredibly durable. My only downside is that for the most part, I don't like the feel of the shuffle when I'm shuffling with them, especially the umbers. It's a little bit, it depends on the texture of the back, but whatever. It's not the worst either. But anyway, very good, durable, reliable sleeve. The back doesn't get dirty, so it doesn't get marked or anything like that. And I don't have the package, but I use KMC perfect sizes for inner sleeves. They will fit in the Dragon Shield sleeves. So yeah, that's about it. That's what I use. I hope that's helpful. Hopefully that's some value to you. There's definitely better deck boxes out there if you want like hardcore security, but that's what I'm using very recently. So thanks for the question. When I went next, like, oh my god, I had no idea Ren and 6 was banned in Legacy. I know who's paying attention to Legacy anymore these days. Now people are starting to pay attention to Legacy. I think what really helps is that now, well, like the cards are significantly cheaper online, and now there's a lot of different groups trying to promote Legacy, and that actually maybe it can grow a little bit. I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with Legacy. It's always been a pretty busted format, but it's just a different form of taste. Who could have predicted a 2-mana Planeswalker would be OP? Woods of the Coast, ban 2-mana Tybalt. Oh, the TES is cheese. Right. Any of those cheesy combo decks. Any combo deck is a cheesy deck. Have you played against these Rakdos Waste Not lists? No. I mean, I've played against a Waste Not list, but not a this is not as far as I'm concerned. Hold on, let me see if I can find the list. Let's quickly look at it. So it plays Lurrus, Dreadhorde Arcanist. Oh, I didn't know this is a Waste Not list, but I have played against this before. Yeah, I've played against this, but I didn't know it had Waste Not in it. I didn't see the Waste Not. I saw everything else. And when I saw it, I thought, when I saw this, when I played against this, oh no, I guess it cannot run. Yeah, I was thinking like this thing would have Lightning Scale Elemental, but they're running Lurrus as a companion. Maybe I played it against a version without Lurrus. I'm not sure. I've definitely played against this though. It's come up at maybe once though, maybe once, because I might be mixing this up with a lot of other black red decks that I've played against that played Croxa but did not play Dreadhorde Arcanist. They played they did play Lightning Scale Elemental, and then they played that elemental that brings elementals back from the graveyard and has haste. So I've played against those sort of decks before. Yeah, but I've seen this. I've seen this. I remember when it was called Renin 600 because a playset was literally like 600 tickets online. Jeez. It shows the power level of that card in Legacy. It was probably just printing money. Let's see. Where are we here? Just trying to figure out where I last left off. If you're just joining us, welcome to Coffee and MTG, the morning talk show where you ask questions. We bring the answers. And if you want to talk anything Magic the Gathering, don't forget, just join us, be part of the community. And with all that, I'm going to take a delicious sip of coffee this morning, because what's the point of sitting here with Coffee and MTG if we're not going to drink some coffee, right? It's Commander Box for 2 Commander decks. Have you used Katana Sleeves? I've not used them, but I felt them before, and I don't like them. I don't like that super soft shuffling. It's too soft for me. And it's like, no, I never like extensively played with them, but my concern with sleeves like that, like my hands can get sweaty when I'm like playing in a tournament. And those sort of, the texture of those sleeves, in my experience, they like stick together if there's any sweat in them. Those Dragon Shield sleeves, I should mention, if you got sweaty palms during like high pressure moments in the tournament, those Dragon Shield sleeves are not sticking together. They don't. The texture on them will not allow that to happen. So that's a huge plus for Dragon Shields, in my opinion. So I don't want to use the Katana sleeves, and I'm just not a fan of that super soft feel. If I have them correctly, I think Katana sleeves are the ones they have this really soft shuffling feel, which I'm sure for some people is amazing, but for me it just makes me paranoid. Does anyone know why Karn the Great Creator is 5x more expensive on Magic the Gathering Online than paper? I want to get my paper E-Tron deck on Magic the Gathering Online, but 120 ticks on Karn the Great Creators feels so dirty. Well, I mean, I think it's possible well, I know a lot of Commander cards have been going up in value in paper, but like the competitive cards have been going like somewhat down, more or less, because you can't play. There's a lot of places you can't play, so why are you playing with your cards? Why do you need your competitive cards? But probably because Karn the Great Creator, I don't know, Eldrazi-tron? I can't actually say. Maybe War of the Spark was under opened online or something like that. I actually can't. I don't have any good answer to this. It sees play. 5x is a lot, to be honest. 5x is a lot. Could be speculators for all I know. Next, how are the magnets in that box? I've been wanting to buy a flip and tray. Also, why use those dice over D20s? Well, those dice, I don't... So first off, I use the dice for counters, like Ether Vial counters. I don't record my life total with D20s. D20s are like, for me, clunky, and it's easy to knock over. It's not for tournaments. It's very bad for tournaments. And in tournaments, you're not allowed to use a D20. You have to write... You have to write your, where's a blank? You have to write your life total down on a pad of paper or one of those boogie boards or whatever. You are not allowed to use dice in a tournament. Maybe at F&M they won't care, but in a competitive REL, you shouldn't. If you have any intention of playing competitive Magic, get used to writing on a pad of paper and a pen, because otherwise they're not going to let you use the D20 in those events, because it's not allowed. You're not allowed to track things like that on you're not allowed to track life totals or other things that can move up and down in numbers, like energy with with dice. So I use the D6s, and they're beautiful in my opinion. Now, if you want to talk about the magnets, magnets are good. I've never done some tests like this. I hope it's not going to fall out of the ground. Like they've never slipped on me. How about that? This is pretty heavy. I sweated a little bit doing that test for you. I've never done that before. For all I know, like my deck box will fall out really quickly, and it's sort of a little bit lodged in. You have to like use a little bit of effort to pull it out. So I think it's very secure. It's snug. It's snug. It's snugly in there. But the magnets were great. Great magnets. Do you have multiple copies of the same card for different decks, or do you cycle them depending on the format that you're playing? Do you have multiple copies? I mean, I just have 4x of everything. I bought, like, in terms of some cheap, like, I just got a Commander deck, and so I did get a 5th copy of some cards, just so that I don't have to, like, pull them in and out constantly, but just of the cheap cards, like, nothing too expensive. Okay, I got, like, actually, I have 8 Silver Gilladepts right now, because... Does everyone remember my discussion videos where I have 4 Silver Gilladepts on my wall? So what ended up happening is I was looking for my Silver Gilladepts for a competitive event on paper, and I switched to non-foil, and I'm like, where's my Silver Gilladepts? I don't know where my Silver Gilladepts are. And then I remembered that I didn't play with Silver Gill. I tricked myself into believing I never owned them, because I didn't play with Silver Gilladept during the Hogak Summer and all the events during Hogak Summer, and I was just like, I guess I just didn't buy them. So I buy another copy of another playset of Silver Gilladept, and then one day I'm eating breakfast, and then I look at my wall where I do my discussion videos, and oh, there's my Silver Gilladepts. They're up there on the wall. And now if you look at those discussion videos, there's like one missing because it went into my Commander deck. So that's what I do. I just cycle them depending on the format that I'm playing. I would never own 8 Lord of Atlantis's, like 8 Chalice of the Voids. That seems pretty ridiculous. I'm not that rich, people. Oh wow, I'm so budget. I use the cheap Ultra Pro deck boxes. Whatever you want to use, whatever works. Okay, so now we're halfway, so it's time for deck list review. So so 101 Nick Tuxdev, how do we do this? Some people have already submitted deck lists. I think you use the command deck review, ! Deck review, and then it will give 2, 3, 4. So what happens is we got a new bot to help us find your deck randomly. So I think you have to use deck review, ! Deck review, if I'm not mistaken, and submit deck list by using the command deck review, and then your URL, and your deck will be entered to be randomly picked for review. Remember, it's deck space review, not ! Deck. Sorry, it's deck review, not ! Deck space review. Because ! Deck is what's it called? That's like that's another bot's command. Oh, simple SMW. Thank you very much for the subscription, subscribing with Prime. Thank you very much. Riding the wave and supporting the channel. Oh, damn it. I still don't have tier 2 and tier 3 badges. I'm supposed to do that this morning. I will get to it eventually. So while we wait for everyone to use the command, because that's what we're going to do now. I will go check out some other questions, if there's anyone. You just said your Silver Gilladept is in your Commander deck. Do you have that list anywhere to share? Yes. I think so. I also, if you look up a commander, like Nikachu MTG, like EDH or commander, it'll be there as well. Because I did play with a commander, but it was one-on-one commander. Let's see, MTG Goldfish. So I think I put my deck on here. Tools, my collection, tools, my decks. Yeah, I found it. Here you go, for anyone who wants my commander deck. There it is. Go wild. Remember, it's not deck. Okay, I gotta repeat. It's not deck space review. No space. No space. People. Thai iced tea. No space. Just, it has to be one command. There you go. So how does it work? Do they go deck review and then put the URL immediately afterwards? Oh, deck review help. Let's see, what does it say? Exclamation point, deck review help. This is new, people. Oh, so you go deck review and okay, so okay, hold on. If I understand correctly, URL here. So it would be something like this. You go deck review and then put the URL. Okay, so this is the example that I have here. Of course, don't put URL. This is just whatever. Or how about this? I could put like, I know, www.yourdeck.com. There we go. Probably that works. Okay, so now how do I pick one? How do I pick one at random? And how does it know? How does it figure out duplicates? I mean, no one's really tried to scam the system, as far as I've seen. Okay, so I do like exclamation point pick. Okay, exclamation point, deck list pick. Oh, I see. All right. Okay, so good luck to everybody with deck list review. Our first one is is it deck review pick? I got nothing. Oh, it's deck review pick. Okay. We're learning. That's okay. Deck review pick is good. Deck review pick. All right, we got Monster CC's deck list has been chosen. Awesome. All right, let's do this. But why is it on YouTube?
Need a professional website?
There is no need to be upset. I think you sent me the wrong. Hold on. Let's see. Is there any deck list here? This is if whatever a million reviews. He trolled you. All right. So we go to the next one. Deck list. Deck list. Sorry. Deck review pick. Let's go. Don't worry. It's all good. No deck list left to review? What happened? What happened? Whatever, we're figuring it out. Okay. Still bugs, not sure. All right. So in that case, everyone just do it the old-fashioned way, and we'll do it, and we'll figure it out next time. I guess it clears. It needs to be like sampling without replacement. Just everyone submit your list the old-fashioned way. Just give me your links. And I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way with what's it called? Random.org. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. 101, Nick. We'll go back to the drawing board. One day it's going to be great. We're going to do it the old-fashioned way. It's a bit funny, though. So we had one shot, and we got the Rickroll. We could only use it for one time, and there was and we picked the Rickroll. What it was like destiny. Anyway. We'll try it out every day until it works. Okay, so maybe there's going to be more lists getting submitted, but if not, whatever, I will pick from what I can see right now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I see 9. All right, let's go. Good luck, everyone. Generate. Number 1. So much for randomization, right? El Rodeo San. Boros tokens. Cannot feel, but we are slowly seeing the same deck lists every day, but that's all good. Let's see the improvements. Okay, El Rodeo San. We have Thraben Inspector, Benelish Marshall, Veteran Loxodon, 3 Gideon, Alive Zendikar. Oh, and what's the format? Pioneer. Okay, so always important, because if I start looking at this list, like, this is a really watered down modern list, but then I realize, oh, it's Pioneer. It's Pioneer. Gideon, Secure the Wastes, Boros Charm, Lightning Strike, Raise the Alarm, Servo Expedition. I actually think Boros Charm is very interesting in this list, because you can make all your permanents indestructible, and that probably is the better mode on here. But in the event that you cannot get through the last points of damage, you just send 4 damage to your opponent's face. So very interesting include in this deck. And, you know, like, a lot of people like using cards like Heroic Intervention, but if, like, this is like Heroic Intervention plus 4 damage attached to it. This is amazing. Boros Charm probably is one of the most underrated cards in Magic. Like, look at it, you can give double strike too. If only it gave trample, it would replace Teamer Battle Rage. So anyway, Lightning Strike, Raise the Alarm, Servo Expedition, Legion's Landing, and Omen of the Sun. Enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 white human soldier creature tokens, and you gain 2 life. Sacrifice Scry 2, but it has flash, so that's nice. Legion's Landing, Raise the Alarm. Can't help but feel like there should be more token generators in here. Like, maybe one. I think. Okay, well, let's get through this. Battlefield Forge, Inspiring Vantage, Plain, Sacred Foundry, Sheffet Dunes, Westville Abbey, Pithing Needle, Damping Sphere, Declaration in Stone, Fry, Rest in Peace, Deafening Clarion. You want this? 3 damage to each creature. Oh, you do. You want it for the lifelink, maybe. And Gideon of the Trial, Settle the Wreckage. Okay. So first things first, one thing that I learned from the Tokens Master, what was it? Tybalt Town. He emphasized that it's very important that for every mana that you spend, that you get at least 1 token out of it. You spend 3 mana for this, you only get 2 tokens. So, while this card still might be fine as a flash card, at the very least, you should be playing 1 more Servo Expedition, because this is 2 mana for 2 tokens. And probably this is a more valuable card in the deck than Omen of the Sun. And it also keeps your curve lower and makes it easier for you to ramp out something like Venerated Loxodon. But I have a good question. Are these all the token generators for Pioneer? Like, I'm just wondering if we can get more. Let's do an advanced search. Like, maybe it is. So far, it doesn't look too bad. The list doesn't look too bad. I'm just wondering if we can get more value at a lower curve. That's all I want to know. Whoops, this is not Commander. So colors, let's look at white for the most. We could also look at red, right? Because this is Boros. I don't care what it is. Text token. Format Pioneer. I can't remember how I do it though. It's like when I'm going to make sure CMC is less than 4 because I don't want to spend more than that. How does it work with the colors? Hold on, do I put exactly these colors or at most these colors? Can't remember how it is because otherwise I don't know. This is no good. See, we get this stupid blue card. Or was that fine? No, this is okay. 1 of 60 of 160, always watching. Maybe I should put token creature. Okay, what can we find here? Preferably at 2 mana. Baffling End. I mean, maybe there's nothing. Does anyone have any suggestions? I saw one suggestion here. Dragon Fodder, Crate 2. Is that definitely could go on the list? Absolutely. Goblin Instigate. Well, the Goblin Instigator is not that great. But maybe. It's not a token is the problem. But it can still be used to ramp out Venerated Loxodon. I would consider Goblin Instigator here. Because it's 2 mana, 2 creatures on the battlefield. If there's one thing that I took away is that it's really important to get get as many creatures to the value of the mana that you spent. History of Benalia looks like a great card. It's not too bad. But it's not only knights you control get +2/+1, but maybe that's something to consider. Create 3 1/1 red goblin creature tokens. Is there... Hold on. Boros deck. What is Benelish Marshal? Other creatures you control. If you have like a pure red-white deck, how many red sources you have? 1, 4, 8, 12. You might have to up the red sources, but you could get 3 tokens from Hordeling Outburst, and I think that is way more valuable than Omen of the Sea. Even though this is a flat... Hold on, human... Oh, you gain 2 life out of this. It's close. It's close. It's closer than I thought. But it might be more valuable than Secure the Wastes. Maybe. I know this is instant speed. Legion Warboss, maybe, but maybe not. $60 Spirit Bonds. That's probably it. Hordeling Outburst and a few of those other cards are the only notables. Interesting. Yeah, that's it. I think that's it. So, but what to take out? I don't know if... Is Thraben Inspector one of your best bets? But you don't have much to do on 1 mana, right? So maybe Thraben Inspector is not too bad. You've got like Legion's Landing. I could get behind. I could get by Thraben. Get back with. I get Thraben Inspector. I like Gideon, Ally of Zendikar, because it's like your lord. The emblem is not to be underestimated. Gideon's sacrifice to make everything +1/+1 eternally is actually really good value. So I do like Gideon in this deck. Benelish Marshal. I guess this is good. It's a lord. It's a lord. Requires a lot of white mana, but it will work. Is there any way we can add more red mana for that Hordeling Outburst? Because I think I'm not sure, but I think Hordeling Outburst might be better than some of these cards. You might have less like tokens than we would think. You have 4, 7, 11, 12, 13. Like this is not a lot of. You're not like a super heavy token deck. You probably need like more token generators. So I would consider I would highly consider dragon fodder. You could take out maybe some lightning strikes. I mean, I understand you should want some removal. I don't know what that's going to be. Or maybe you do take out the Thraben Inspector for more token generation, because I think you're going to be using. I don't know how often you're going to like crack this clue to investigate, because you're going to be using up your mana every single turn. I think that's going to happen very often in your deck. Although having a 1-drop is useful because it'll help ramp you into like Venerated Loxodon, because you can pull off a turn 3 Venerated Loxodon very easily, like Inspector, raise the alarm next turn, Loxodon, and what is it? Whenever on each creature that convoked it. Yeah, so like it's still okay. But anyway, my suggestion: add more token generators. I think the deck probably needs more, and more at a lower mana cost. I would highly consider removing Omen of the Sun so that you can get. I would definitely at least replace Omen of the Sun with, what was it called? Dragon Fodder. And then you will like have more Venerated Loxodon curve outs, like really strong curve outs with Venerated Loxodon, in my opinion. Because you can go like at 2 mana, you go like turn 1 1-drop, turn 2 Dragon Fodder, and even without hitting your 3rd land drop, Venerated Loxodon. Boom, kill your opponent. Thanks for submitting the list. Awesome list. Cool deck list review. All right, so I think we have some more people that submitted lists. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 now. Back to random.org. 10 lists. Only one will get reviewed. What is it going to be? Number 10! Number 10. It's a good day to be last. And the last is K10 Forgotten. Red-green Bloodbraid Elves. Is this like an evolution of the last Elves deck we saw with Bloodbraid Elf being added? All right. 2 Boreal Druid, Elvish Mystic, Llanowar Elves, Elvish Archdruid. 2 Elvish Archdruid. 4, basically a playset. Azuri, Ratcat Heart of Keld. This is an elf warrior, 3/3 creature. As long as it's your turn, Keld has first strike. You may look at the top card of your library anytime, and you may play lands from the top of your library. And Rata gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of lands you control. Not impressed with this card. This is not that great. And another problem is Bloodbraid Elf is going to hit like a Llanowar Elves insanely often. So this is not the greatest Bloodbraid Elf deck. Non-creature spells, we have Lightning Bolt, Winding Way, Chandra. Non-elf creatures, we have Scavenging Ooze, Klothys, Magus of the Moon, and Glorybringer. How to make this deck better? Lords. I actually think you should go all in on more elf lords. That way, if you like Bloodbraid Elf into an elf lord, you at least turn in all your crappy mana dorks into something. The problem with Bloodbraid Elf in decks like this is that you do have some decent stuff to hit. But when you hit an elf, I mean, you have a decent chance because you have 10 of them in here, is like pretty bad value out of your Bloodbraid Elf. Lightning Bolt, it's okay. Winding Way might be okay. So you feel top 4 cards of your library. How many? You have 10, 22, so you have 32. Okay, so that's a fine rate for Winding Way. Magus of the Moon, holy crap. And here's another problem, like you can't even find Glorybringer off of your Bloodbraid Elf. So what that means is that you have even more, you have an even higher chance of just finding a mana dork off of your Bloodbraid Elf. Well, I'll tell you this much. What else can we do here? I'm gonna take a sip of coffee. What does the community think? What does the community think? Oh, hold on. Is this what's the format? Elves, it's modern. Okay, I thought it was modern. I saw the word Tuxev scared me. He said historic. Jumpstart cards are not in Pioneer. Gills to Billy the Bill says, whoops, where is it? This deck, and sorry, no, Jace to the face says, this deck could be improved with 6 different art forests that are individually listed. Take it to the next level, yes. Whose list is this, by the way? It's K10 Forgottens. Imperial Magistrate. What is this card? When you suggest me cards, I need the correct spelling. Because I won't know. I'm just going to take it. Maybe Imperial something? Oops. Snow Mountains for Scred Misdirection. I guess that is an improvement. Let's play with some mountains. Imperious Perfect. So 101 next says, I think turn it into a full-on Elf Ponza type deck. I'll tell you this much. So we've got a lot of elves here. I would say, yeah, we should go lean harder in the elf archetype. If you're playing with a lord, an elf, sorry, this is not the elf lord. If you're playing with an elf lord, let's play with more elves. In fact, let's play with more elf lords, and we do have them. Like, they do exist. And a decent one right now to dig into would be, what's it called? The Elvish Champion. There are a lot of green decks right now. So Elvish Champion says all other elf creatures get +1/+1 and have Forest Walk. This would be a very good hit off of Bloodbraid Elf. And, you know, we see there are 4-color Death Shadow decks playing green. We do see Jund. We see the red-green Ponza decks that are playing forests. So there is a good density of green decks in the metagame that justifies playing Elvish Champion. You will like really catch them off guard. See, the thing, these cards don't have any synergy with the rest of the deck. I would say take out the Glory Bringer, add 4 of those lords. I guess 1 Azuri is not too bad. I would play more lords over this, to be honest. So you pump up everything. This is not a very impressive card. I think this card is just clunky and weak. Getting this ability off is going to be very, very difficult. And like, so what? You can make this a 20/20. They'll just chump block it. It's not that important. I mean, of course, if you have Azuri out, maybe it is going to be important. But then if you have Azuri out, it doesn't really matter what's on the battlefield. So I would definitely remove some of this stuff here. So no more Glory Bringer. Magus of the Moon is like, if you want to run this, I guess it's okay. But again, it doesn't have much synergy in the deck. Clothis, I think, is a card that's really... I think Clothis is a good card, but I don't... Like, again, I would like to lean harder into more elf synergy so that you can, like, get some good hits off of Bloodbraid Elf. I mean, to be honest, these are all good cards to hit, but these are all Ponza cards. And they play with a lot less of this stuff here. I mean, they play like Arbor Elf and some Utopia Sprawls, and then that's it. Because you need to, if you're going to play Elvish Archdruid, which, by the way, I think is a fine card, lean harder in the elf archetype, because you only add mana for each elf you control. So you're trying to go both ways. You know what? I would take the decision of, if you want to keep one of these creatures, that's fine. Scrap the rest, add more elves, and dig deeper into the synergy of your elf deck and add more like lords, like Elvish Champion, for example, and maybe even the other one. What's the other one? Magus is partially a non-bow with Forest Walk. Yeah, that's true. That's possible. But that's only if Elvish Champion is added. Elvish Clan Caller. So Elvish Clan Caller, another lord. So the point is, if you Bloodbraid Elf into a Mana Dork, or if you Bloodbraid Elf into an Elvish Clan Caller, you're not going to be unhappy, because also that elf can help you activate Elvish Clan Caller's ability, where you just keep putting lords into play. So I think that's where I would want to go with this thing, in my opinion. Sideboard looks fine. I don't have strong opinions one way or another with the sideboard. And I guess Boil is the better card these days, right? Because the Reclamation decks, they'll almost always tap out on their turn, and then that's when you boil them. And if they untap mana, like whatever, it's you're untapping some not many lands. Anyway, that's I hope that was valuable. K10 Forgotten. Thank you very much for submitting the list. Nice list too. But we've seen this theme on Decklist review. People who try to go both ways with an idea, like they want to do this from this deck, but they want to do this from the other deck. You got to pick one. That's why they're not like very rarely you see like a mishmash of ideas in within an archetype, especially when it comes to lords like Elvish Archdruid, which depend on synergy. Anyway, neat list one way or another. Let's keep it rolling. I don't think there were any more deck lists submitted. Okay, so we'll just one less than last time. 9. Good luck, everyone. 7. 7, 7, 7, 7. I'm going to start from the bottom. So 9, 8, 7. Pioneer Mono Black Eldrazi from Rokanatis. This sounds really cool. Can't wait to look at this list. Mono Black Eldrazi. Sounds like a good idea. Oops. Pretty excited to see this list. Matter Reshaper, of course. Kalidas, Trader of Get. Hey, do we have Eldrazi Temple in the format, right? Oh, we don't? They didn't reprint Eldrazi Temple. They like reprinted it in some other set. I knew they reprinted Eldrazi Temple, but I guess it was like in a starter deck set or something like that. Okay, so Matter Reshaper, Kalidas, Trader of Get. Rankle, Master of Pranks. Very strong card. Don't know what synergy it has with Eldrazi, though. Thought-Knot Seer, Reality Smasher. Interesting, no Wasteland Strangler. I thought when I read Mono Black Eldrazi, I assumed that there would be a Wasteland Strangler in here. Liliana, the Last Hope. I'm like sort of iffy on this card. Like it can be good, but Liliana, Liliana, the Last Hope is only as good as there are like 1 toughness creatures in the format, and if there are not that many 1 toughness creatures, she's just really clunky. Liliana, Walker of the Dead. I like this one a little bit more because Liliana, she can potentially like kill very large creatures depending how many cards are in your graveyard. And also I think the +1 is great. I think the +1 is very, very good. Ob Nixilis. I won't deny Ob Nixilis is very powerful. And Ugin the Ineffable. Fatal Push, Thoughtseize, Liliana's Triumph. How many times I got to tell these ads to go screw off? Each opponent sacrifices a creature. If you control a Liliana Planeswalker, each opponent also discards a card. So synergy with these cards, but I get a sense that you're going to want to play this very early, so it won't really matter. But I guess it's a bonus later on in the game. But then they may not have many cards later on in the game. Oh, but you can do it at instant speed. You can do it at their draw step. That's interesting. Yeah, that's cool. Heart of Kirin. I guess. I get a sense like there's not many creatures in this deck. This is more this super heavy. I mean, it's like Jund, I guess. 14 creatures, it's fine. Lands, Bonders, and Cleave. Draw a card, activate this ability. Only if you control a creature with power 4 or greater. Love that card, love it. Castle Lockwyn. Is this legendary? I think I love this card more than I like this one, but whatever. It's all good. Fabled Passage to activate Fatal Push, Field of Ruin. Maybe you want more of these? Because I don't think you're that heavy on black here. I think you have more room. Like, oh no, but sorry, Field of Ruin cannot target that stupid Lotus Field card because that's hexproof. Screw everything I just said. Forget it. Mobilized District, very awkward manland, but you know, do whatever. So here's Creature Land, Mutavault, Classic, Seagate Wreckage, draw a card if you have no cards in hand. Just trying to think which one of these are better. Well, whatever. This costs life? No. Swamp, Urborg, 1 wastes. Sideboard, eliminate Liliana's Triumph, Murderous Rider, Necromentia. So for the most, Leyline of the Void, Thought Distortion, I don't have much feedback. I'm not playing Pioneer right now. I don't know what's going on. So for the most part, it looks okay. I would think that Reality Smasher is worth having one more of. Reality Smasher is just a very strong, reliable card. Does anyone have any... Is there anything maybe missing in this deck? For anyone who's playing Pioneer right now, is there anyone... Well, yeah, not... Yeah, it's a Pioneer deck. Does anyone know... Does anyone think that there's a card missing in this deck that should be for Pioneer? I know the format just got shaken up, and maybe a metagame has not settled down yet, but still, maybe somebody can like point out a card that this deck probably should definitely have. It looks like all the bases are covered. I think I still would prefer to see a Reality Smasher here. If Near Deadlands in there? No. What is If Near Deadlands? Costs life, and I think there's a lot of cards that have value. Put 2+1. I mean, it's possible. Is there any particular creatures that would die to this right now? Wasteland Strength. So, like, Brain Maggot could be in the sideboard. Brain Maggot, however, will just die to removal. I don't know how important that is right now. But I also was thinking, you know, why not Wasteland Strangler? But we do need means of like getting cards exiled. What does this eliminate? Does it just destroy? Just destroys. One Field of the Dead because of the high land variety. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10, maybe. Is Field of the Dead banned? Oh yeah, maybe it's banned. This list isn't a deck that gets 7 lands in play. Yeah, you'd have to just naturally draw them anyway. I also forgot Field of the Dead was banned because it's legal in Historic, and the formats at this moment feel very similar. And somehow it's fine there. Well, fine. Anyway, I've not play tested this list, so I don't know the nuances of what should be in there or not. My gut feeling is Liliana Last Hope is awkward, but maybe you have nothing else to do at 3 mana. You might want more things to do early on in the game, like maybe even more Liliana Triumphs. 1 Heart of Kirin is fine. Yeah, let's analyze the curve. You're actually really top heavy. You're super top heavy. Like, look at everything that costs 2 or less mana. You have literally like 13 things. And this is not going to attack or block anything. This doesn't interact with anybody. So you should look actually, because like once you hit 4 mana, like what are you doing here? You have so many things to do. So I do have some advice. Cut some of the 4 drops. Because I think your best 4 drop is going to be Thought-Knot Seer, because interacting with their hand is important. Again, is there any 2 mana ramp in this deck? Scrounger? Can't remember what Scrounger is. Oh, Scrap Heap Scrounger? That's a possibility. And how does Wasteland Strangler work? Is it like... Is it definitely your opponent's creature? You may put a card an opponent owns. Okay, it has to be an opponent owns. Trial of Abandon. But hold on. Oh, wait, Scrap Heap Scrounger also can't block anyway. Of Ambition. Target opponent sacrifices a creature. When a cartouche enters the battlefield under your control, return a trial. Well, we're not going to play with any cartouches. You know, might as well play with Liliana's Triumph because it's instant speed. Oh yeah, it's way better. Liliana's Triumph's way better. So like there's not many, I bet what's gonna happen in this deck a lot. Turn 1 and 2, you will do one thing. Maybe. And if you're on the draw, you're gonna get crushed really bad. So it's possible we have to take out the top end and some of the middle end to fill in that gap. Yeah, Collective Brutality looks totally legit. Is there anything like target player looks at their hand, exiles something? Like even for 2 mana, a 2 mana, look at their hand, exile something so that we can activate Wasteland Strangler? Or is it always on a creature? Agonizing Remorse? Oops. Target opponent reveals their hand. You may choose a non-land card from it, or a card from their graveyard. Exile that card. You lose 1 life. I think this is decent, and this can. I don't know if Wasteland Strangler is good in the format, but like this is a very good card. This is a very, very good card, and to like pick out their maybe turn 3 play, and then follow that up with Wasteland Strangler to blow up whatever the hell is on the bottom. So I don't know how good Kite Sail is. Like, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. I don't know how much removal is in the format. I have 8 in my bulk box. But make no mistake, Wasteland Strangler is totally meta-dependent. It's a huge beating. A huge beating if there's a lot of what's it called? It's a huge beating when there's a lot of creatures in the format. And the neat thing is you can exile a card from their graveyard, choose an online card from it, or a card from their graveyard, exile that card, you lose 1 life. That's interesting. So you actually can hit 2 things. You could hit the opponent's graveyard if there's something important there. So whatever you choose, I don't know what would work best, but I can tell this is very clunky. So you gotta like remove some. You have like a ton of 4 drops here. 3 drops, I guess, are fine. I would rather they were creatures than planeswalkers. Like, here's the deal: you're gonna be like turn 3 Liliana the Last Hope, and your board is like pretty far behind, and then it's gonna die. Outcaster92 just subscribed. Thank you very much, Outcaster92, for joining the wave. Thanks for joining the channel and supporting it. What's the Drazi that lets you Thoughtseize? You mean Thought-Knot Seer? I played Abzan mid-range and standard for a while, and Remorse was great to deal with Uro and Croc, so I would assume the same goes for Pioneer. All right, so Agonizing Remorse might be a good early game play. Yeah, well, I mean, sideboard. I never have. Especially since the metagame is so new. I don't have like good. I don't have any like critical advice for the sideboard or anything like that because the metagame can change tomorrow and all my recommendations are useless. But I can see this is really top heavy. It's very, very top heavy, and there's no ramp. Like if there was like, what this deck needs? It's like a Mind Stone. Does like 2 mana add a mana exist in Pioneer, or that doesn't exist? Like that's why this is played even in Modern. Turn 2 Mind Stone into turn 3 Thought-Knot Seer or turn 3 like Reality Smasher is still good. That's an interesting suggestion. Deathrite Shaman. That is interesting. I don't know how reliable we can use this thing, but there's Palette. Oh yeah, okay. So like you suggested this earlier, Retro Rami. How about Palladium? Oh no, but this is not good. It needs to be at 2 mana. There's a lot of stuff at 3 mana. This doesn't work because we want to go turn 2 mana rock so that we can go turn 3 play a 4-drop. When you play turn 3 Paladin Mirror, like we're not exactly ramping into our turn 4 plays. We're going to ramp into turn 5 plays, but that's a bit too late. Corrupt Graft Stone it is. There's battlefield tapped. Choose a color of a card in your graveyard. Add 1 mana of that color to your mana pool. Ooh, but you need a card in your graveyard. Wow, is Mind Stone so busted that they watered it down to this? This comes into play tapped, and you need cards in your graveyard. This makes me feel like this is like broken or something. Is Mind Stone like OP? Look how bad. Look, this is a rare. This is like a common. Look at the difference in power level. I mean, okay, you can add a color. You can add colors with this thing, but like, whatever. I think this is a bit quite a bit worse. Yeah, we've come a long. Matt Maddox says we've come a long way from Moxen. We've come a long way. 2 mana rocks are rare in standard these days. Yeah, going like ramping into big stuff is, I guess, difficult. Yeah, inverse soul ring. Inverse soul ring. But anyway, that's those are my suggestions. We gotta like move out some of this 4 mana stuff. Liliana's Triumph and also Agonizing Remorse could be some more cards you could fill up in this deck. And that is all I can suggest. And I might take out some of this top end here because this is very like, especially maybe Ugin the Ineffable. You have no way of ramping into this. So I think 5 mana should be the height of the mana in this deck, and you have quite a few 5 mana creatures. The thing is, like, once you get to a lot of mana, like once you get to 5 mana, you still have tons of stuff that you have to cast. And I would just be very concerned about getting there with enough cards in the early game because you have like 11 here. You have 11 cards, and what's likely to happen. And by the way, it's like okay to like skip, do nothing on turn 1, but you better definitely be doing something on turn 2, and just pending your hands, pending your mulligans. You might not have anything to do on turn 2, and skipping 2 turns. I'm in Pioneer. I'm sure that's a death sentence, and I'd be very curious to know how Liliana the Last Hope actually works out. Maybe she's fine to get back creatures from the graveyard, but I doubt it. Or I shouldn't say I doubt it, but I know like starting the game with Liliana the Last Hope sometimes can be a problem because like, what are your other 3 drops here? You start the game with Matter Reshaper, or you start the game with Liliana the Last Hope. I don't mind. Matter Reshaper is super premium because you can block anything and you still get value. Whereas with Liliana the Last Hope, okay, tick up, make some creature -2/-1. Maybe you killed something. But then likely Liliana dies the following turn. So not a good way to start this thing. Yes, I am playing a league today, and that is why. That is it for today for Coffee and MTG. Did I miss your question? Did we not get to your deck list? That's okay. We do this at twitch.tv/Nikachu MTG. Every weekday, Monday to Friday, 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. Come by next time, and maybe there's going to be a chance. There's always a chance that your list will get reviewed. And thank you everyone who submitted deck lists today. I hope that was valuable. I hope it was good information and feedback that you can take and improve your decks and do better with them. Do great. So we're going to thank everybody. So if you're watching live, we're going to go straight into gameplay. We're playing with we're going to keep moving forward with the legacy content. But if you're there on YouTube, that's going to be it for today. So going to thank quickly again all my patrons supporting me on Patreon. Thank you very much all to the subscribers subscribed on Twitch. We're also going to thank our sponsors, themanabase.com and Mana Traders. This is Nikachu Merfolk Master here with Coffee and MTG, and I'll see you at the next cup. Take care and see you next time.